Well, imagine you're at a very fancy schmancy, pricey restaurant, and there's a baby at the table next to you. Baby starts screaming. That's what happened to customers over at Chicago's Alinea restaurant. Apparently a very fancy place. The average price of an item on the menu about $210 per person. And now the chef is mulling a ban on kids altogether. Will that fly? We asked you.
I think if people want to go out to, especially a fancy restaurant, then they should get a babysitter.
If we don't teach them manners from the beginning and how to behave in public, when are they going to learn it?
People come to expect a certain quality from restaurants, especially if you're paying top dollar. They should be able to be free of noise and disruption.
Well, attorney Janell Weinstein thinks that would be a bad idea. Mom, Lisa Giovinazzo, says it makes perfect sense to her. Lisa, why?
Look, I think that it's private enterprise, and it's a policy of the restaurant. I mean, it's their business, and if they decide that they don't want to serve families and they're better off just catering to adults or older children and families, then that's their prerogative. I mean, they're not breaking a law. Federal law doesn't.
And this ain't the Olive Garden.
That's
nothing wrong with the Olive Garden, by the way.
Right.
Try the bread. But what do you make of this?
Well, I mean, certainly they're going to alienate people that are offended by the ban.
But do you think people paying that per person are actually offended?
Well, people paying that per person probably should not only be able to bring their babies, but anybody else they want to bring with them. But having said that, we have to remember not all children are noisy or misbehave. And not all adults
I think most 8-month-olds are.
Well, no.
Not that that's bad.
Well, sometimes the babies, the little ones, are the best ones because they sleep. You know,
yeah, like if you slip a little vodka, they just knock themselves out.
That's why they're sleeping.
Yeah, right.
But you have to remember, not all adults are behaving properly, and you could be next to them.
So you find that this is a move too far to start banning kids?
Right. The parents have the responsibility to keep their kids behaving appropriately.
Hard to do with anyone, though.
Which it can be very hard to do, but at that point you can leave. And maybe the restaurant should have had a better policy to give them a credit to come back another time.
Or at least have, like, Gerber on the menu, something to keep the kid entertained.
But really, a small child, right? Even Walt Disney has adult-only restaurants. 10 and over, you can bring your child to a very fancy restaurant because they're selling an experience. They're selling the ambiance of the restaurant. Most of them are high-priced. Most people expect for that. They get a quiet evening. And look,
why didn't the couple get a sitter?
Well, that's what the problem. I was just going to say the problem here is they did. The intention wasn't to bring this little baby to the restaurant. The sitter canceled last minute, and whatever the situation was with the restaurant, either they didn't accommodate or they didn't ask the restaurant to accommodate.
Oh, so they just came in with the baby.
Right, and we don't know what transpired. Maybe they asked to accommodate and the restaurant didn't.
The baby wasn't slipped in a coat or something.
Right, exactly. So really the restaurant should have done something maybe to change that around.
All right, but now, of course, the restaurant has a stigma attached to it, and it might fear, look, don't go to that restaurant because they allow screaming kids.
Well, I mean, for this restaurant in particular, it was so expensive, and you had to prepay. So in that environment, again, they're controlling their environment. If they choose to be that type of restaurant, similar to like a James Beard in New York City, you wouldn't expect to go there. It's very crowded. You wouldn't want to see a lot of children.
Right.
And to answer you, I have a 6 and an 11-year-old. My 11-year-old's perfectly behaved. My 6-year-old, I can never tell, and I can't always control what he's doing.
None of my kids. They're not even welcome at Ponderosa.
Well, they say that your kids alone are banned from every restaurant.
They are. My kids are banned from Giant Stadium.
That's every restaurant's policy.
They are. They're very loud.
It's a wanted list.
Go figure. With me as a dad, they're very loud. Anyway, ladies, thank you very much.